generated character you can take with you on your adventures. And if we get tired of running around trading, bounty hunting, fighting, we can settle down. And I mean literally, we can build a settlement in any part of the world and slowly turn it into a bustling trade center, a farm, or even a freaking brewery and stuff. Like look, in one of my first settlements I was mass producing homemade grog and selling it all across the land via Naruto running ninja traders. Like what? You can do that? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Not to mention all the activities that come with managing a village of your own, like bandit raids, pilgrimages, and traders coming in and out. Even automating your colonists, assigning jobs to them, and just watching them work and craft stuff over time. It all depends on your location. Your settlement may have completely different advantages and disadvantages based purely on the world region, flora and fauna, or even the ruling nation of the land you're currently in. Settling in Okran's Pride will net you easy time farming, since the land is fertile, while settling in the swamps is just a mistake. And all that brings us to the fact that the world of Kenshi doesn't just feel alive. It literally is alive. It's a full-blown simulation of every insignificant character, every raiding party, every politician or legendary ruler, every fight taking place, and every scheme in the world. And all of that and more, whether we as the player are there to see it or not. Because the world of Kenshi, while harsh, does not hate the player. This is
RPGs are evolving, and 2026 is packed with titles that push the genre forward, with massive worlds, rich narratives, and mechanics that reward creativity and strategy. There's plenty to look forward to. Let's see what's coming next. Neo 3 is shaping up to be the first samurai RPG of the new year. If you love 2025's Assassin's Creed Shadows, or are still deep in Ghost of Yotei, don't worry. The action keeps rolling. You play as Tokugawa Takechio, battling yokai to save Japan from evil once and for all. Stealth and strategy will be key, and you'll even cross paths with
We just got a fresh look at Fate Keeper, a new first-person action RPG. Now, before we jump into the new gameplay, we need to discuss what this game actually is and if you should be excited, because while it looks amazing, you shouldn't expect the open world of Skyrim here, which I see a lot of people
In the late 1980s, the Nintendo Famicom was taking Japan by storm.
There have been a lot of retro-style RPGs, especially from indie devs recently, and some of them have obvious inspirations from games like Morrowind and King's Field. So let's take a look at some of the immersive retro-style RPGs that are worth playing right now, and a few that are coming out soon. Vario Curse of the Faces is a really fun indie RPG that immediately brings to mind King's Field in the way that it plays. Vario is faster paced, but it still has that foreboding atmosphere and sense of danger that makes you think twice about it. Dread Delusion is a game that definitely carries the legacy of Morrowind's strange yet beautiful world, and you're free to explore in the way that you would like. You can focus on a variety of different ways to play. You could go full physical might, you can use powerful magics, or you can sneak around and try to avoid combat until you get the killing blow from behind. There are a lot of more interesting indie RPGs that is coming soon is Queen's Domain, with a very clear throwback to graphics of classic PC days that also has a lot of complexity to it visually. In this one I can see both shades of Morrowind and of King's Field, with open areas and tight corridors, and even unique ways of movement. In the trailer you can see your character pick up this sword that allows you to do air dashes, and apparently that can be upgraded to allow for even more movement, so you're not just going to be stuck doing a single movement for the entire time. Queen's Domain promises to have a lot of fun exploration and a good variety of different weapons to find, with over 50 melee weapons that are upgradable, and also 20 secondary throwing weapons. So there's a ton of different weapons to use. In this game, you're on a journey to find your missing father, and that takes you to this mysterious island. Solving that mystery will lead you to a wide variety of enemies and into the heart of the island. Queen's Domain is coming soon to Steam, though as of right now doesn't have a release date. Lunacid is very much the next evolution of the King's Field series in a lot of ways, but still with those classic retro-style graphics. The dark, brooding atmosphere is definitely here, with all sorts of mysteries and discoveries to make as you move forward. Lunacid has a ton of different weapons for you to find as you play through the game, and it's described itself even in the Steam description as a King's-like, which means you won't be dodge rolling in this one. You have to take measured attacks, use a combination of backstepping and blocking to make it through the various challenges. And it is a challenge to go through this one. Even figuring out where you're supposed to go isn't always straightforward, but I didn't really feel overly frustrated by the design of the maps as I was playing it, just a sense of excitement at what I would find next. This one is a bit more slow-paced, but it feels good to play. You can get Lunacid on Steam. Another game that hasn't released yet, but looks like a ton of fun, is Hark the Ghoul. This one takes me back to the classics like Morrowind and King's Field, with strange locales, maybe even a little bit of Bloodborne with the ability to equip a gun in your offhand. Part of what made this game uniquely interesting is the way that you engage in combat. You can use things in the environment, like lifting up rocks and hurling them at the enemies with your powers. You can spin around a flail. Each weapon seems to have its own identity and playstyle, and getting through the areas will have you moving object discoveries to make as you move forward, of backstepping and blocking to make it through the various challenges. And it is a challenge to go through this one, even figuring out where you're supposed to go.
There's one thing I noticed with Stalker 2, and this was from the very beginning, even before the game actually released. It was the absolute hyperbolic opinions people have about it. And it keeps going strong even today, as we just reached the 1-year anniversary of the game. We could argue this is an internet thing and not a Stalker 2 thing, which is true. It feels harder and harder to find a nuanced.
You know, we haven't looked at Stalker 2 mods in a while. Nexus. Stalker 2. Ooh, fast weapon switching might make the game a lot better. Damn, I'm like standing on this thing and it's annoying.
Come on, guys! We got a job to do!
Opinion online, and everything feels more angry and extreme all the time, which is exhausting, to be fair. But I play a lot of other games, and even if, yes, gamers in general can be very passionate and intense, to put it lightly, I have to say Stalker 2 has a particularly divided community. Between the veterans that grew up with the original games, who knew what to expect in terms of jankiness for Stalker 2, but still deep inside had very high expectations, that got crushed by GSC and the abysmal state the game was on release. The Anomaly fanboys who never touched the originals because they look too old and were expecting this new game to be Gamma 2 for some reason, which was never gonna happen, let's be clear, so obviously got disappointed too. And that's not even mentioning the Ukraine invasion that had a big impact on development, extra delays, and led the developers to decide not to sell the game in Russia, remove all Russian language and dubbing, and give the game a deeper significance in general, using it as a symbol of Ukrainian Russian resilience, which got a very healthy reaction from some parts of the Russian community, from hacking and blackmailing the devs before release, leaking early game assets, and launching coordinated review bombing after the game came out. I mean, all of this is just scratching the surface. I left a ton of sources in the video description if you want to dig deeper into all these stories, and GSC is definitely not free from criticism either, from trying to push NFTs to the game to a lot of other things we're gonna cover in this video. All of this to say, in the middle of this mess, you have the regular people discovering the game and the franchise for the first time, seeing a janky, buggy, horribly optimized but really interesting and atmospheric game with deep lore, and it's not a surprise that even to this day, 1 year after release, I still see posts like this all the time, asking what's the state of the game and is it worth playing yet, or to wait for more updates. So that's what we're going to answer today. Let's talk about Stalker 2, let's talk about the disastrous release, let's talk about all the updates and all the improvements we've seen over the year. Let's see how far we've come, because it's been a rough journey. What's the state of the game right now with the latest 1.7 patch, and let's see what's coming next and what I'm excited about. And let's try to have a nuanced opinion, because I can't take the hyperbolic statements anymore. From both sides of the spectrum, loving or hating the game, from the morons still saying today that the game is a scam for some reason, to the die-hard fans hooked on copium that refuse to see the glaring issues the game still has. Like everything in life, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle between these two extremes. So let's travel back to last year, on November 20 exactly, the official release date of the game. Actually, let's go back to November 16, because as a content creator, I still cannot believe this silly channel came that far. I received an early copy of the game to review before release. I don't have to explain to you how short 4 days are to play the game, experience it enough to make a decent opinion about it, write the script of the video, record everything, edit it and have it out.
Another year has come and gone, leaving us with some absolutely brilliant games that took up a significant chunk of our annual gaming hours. But of course, some of their worlds have just been better than others, with gameplay loops that keep you on the move but never far enough from something interesting to discover. We quite like the worlds that set us loose right from the get-go, sprinkling interesting distractions along the way to keep us exploring away until our eyes or hands or even our controllers demand some rest. And 2025 has quite a few of those titles, with each experience bringing a very unique bunch of mechanics to keep things interesting. So with that said, we have a few that are believed to be a cut above their peers. The nominees for the best open world games of 2025 are Where Winds Meet. Everstone Studios has blended wuxia with an action RPG adventure whose sprawling lands and bustling cities are a stage for a very ambitious take on player agency and freedom. This is a world that actively encourages going off the beaten track, its systems being a reward on their own for diligent players. But that's not all. With the game actively including clever touches upon actual history and using that to blend in fantasy elements makes for an experience that's a wuxia fever dream. Where Winds Meet deserves a place of honor among 2025's best RPGs for its sheer scale, ambition, and the sense of freedom that it gives you from the get-go. Dying Light: The Beast. By making the Castor Woods feel like a character in Kyle's latest adventure, this open-world survival horror loop never fails to entertain. You never know what you might end up against as you leave the safety of your hideouts, while the night conceals terrors that can bring a very quick end to your strolls. but it's in how the world blends several activities and a well-written story together with some excellent parkour-based traversal and new powers for your character to make an experience that continues to call out to us long after we rolled credits on it. Kingdom Come: Deliverance II. A worthy successor to the first title, Deliverance 2 builds on everything that was great in the first game while expanding on it in both scale and quality. Its story brings a lot of interesting twists to the tale, while the wit and charm of its characters and NPCs can both be endearing and amusing. This is a world where exploration feels like a very entertaining trek through a world in which you can find both conflict and comedy in equal measures as you go where the roads take you on your quest to witness an end to Henry's story. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion Remastered. This one definitely was a surprise when it was shadow dropped by the developers earlier in the year, but it certainly isn't a surprise that it made its way back into our hearts after the many years since its original release. A brilliant visual overhaul aside, improved animations and a revamped enemy AI made the entire adventure feel quite immersive. That's quite an advantage in an open world like Cyrodiil, where there's just as much to tease out through careful exploration and countless battles. This is a nostalgia fix that you shouldn't miss out on, and a must try if you haven't and missed the original game. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ancient Japan's chapter of the Assassins finally made it into our hands, and Naoe and Yasuke did not disappoint. The Anvil engine brought this excellent recreation of feudal Japan to life in a giant map that was both dazzling to see and riveting to explore. With secrets to discover, targets to hunt down, fortresses to raid, and so much more, the changing seasons are a showcase of how this game continues to stand tall among 2025's best RPGs, as resilient as the snow-capped structures it recreates so beautifully. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Sam Porter's second adventure was bound to be more ambitious than the first one, but On the Beach brings an astounding level of visual flair, engaging gameplay, and a vast world for you to work your magic on this time around. The game's opening hour was enough to showcase how Kojima Productions has managed to bring a sequel worthy of its predecessor in every way, while doing enough to stand out on its own as an open-world title that's unforgettable and melancholically haunting. Elden Ring Night Reign. While it can be easy to see open-world games as ones that have you gradually explore their maps and take things at a generally slower pace, From Software's roguelike debut put on a timer on that exploration and gave you a set of moves and traversal methods that were built for efficiency and speed. Making your way across a map before the night begins to eat away at your life force demands strategy and skill, and taking on the many threats you find along the way with player-controlled nightfarers at your side could lead to some truly memorable battles or some epic fails, and either way, this one's a great option for players who like to pick up the pace. Tokyo Extreme Racer. Roaming the streets of Tokyo in your quest to become a street racing legend is a very entertaining part of this game's racing experience. Challenging racers from rival gangs or just looking to make a mark on their own is never going to get old, and this is a title that is entertaining to both pro and casual racing fans. This is definitely worth a shot if street racing in an open world is your thing, and is sure to give you more than a few challenging tracks to take on and rivals to beat. Ghost of Yotei. Atsu takes over the reins from Jin Sakai in a sequel that has cemented the Ghost franchise as a powerhouse in PlayStation's lineup of exclusives. This is a world in which serene beauty, deadly dangers, and riveting stories are waiting to be found, the wind at your back slowly guiding you to them. Of course, there's the entire quest for revenge and your blood feud to tend to, but they often take a back seat when an adorable little bird flits into view, urging you to follow it to potentially new discoveries. Etso is a world that's a treat to explore despite the many dangers that you're going to have to face down, weapons drawn, and reflexes at the ready. Mario Kart World. Among the more popular additions to the open world genre, this success is having. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. Retracing the legend of King Arthur in this darker take on the king's story was an interesting time, with a frankly astounding number of quests that you can find in its open world. Dealing with the Red Death and the weirdness is often a catalyst for smaller, more nuanced tales that tell you more about the world that once was, while also giving emotional heft to the world that now exists. It's a map that takes you to places you cannot forget once you visit them, while the game's other systems and story work well to have you forgetting the hours as you immerse yourself into this adventure. Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl, PS5. With GSC finally bringing out the PS5 version of Stalker 2 and making great use of the console's unique features, the experience that the studio set out to deliver is finally here. The Zone has everything you'd expect from a title in this iconic franchise, and exploring it is a gaming experience that remains unique among its peers. This is a title that keeps you on your toes, its story and the grind for survival working well to make your character feel like the predator and the prey. This one is definitely worth checking out if you haven't had the chance to experience a very unique flavor of mayhem. Days Gone Remastered PS5. While the choice to remaster Days Gone might have raised a few eyebrows, this remaster is now the best way to experience the original title's utter unpredictability and terrifying chases through uncharted territory with hordes of vicious zombies on your tail. Deacon's harrowing adventure is a great story and an even greater launchpad for an open-world experience that's both chilling and engaging. It's just you, your motorcycle, the open road, and of course, the zombies in a game that can stay with you long after it completes its story. Borderlands 4. It was a joy to rejoin the ranks of the Vault Hunters after all this time and take on the Timekeeper in this addition to the Borderlands franchise, with laughs and a thrilling looter-shooter making this one a very fun way to enjoy your gaming hours. This is an open world that can have you lost in its cel-shaded adventures. It's also a great option to get your buddies together for some cooperative play in a map that can have a ton of fun just waiting for you to discover. Stalker Legends of the Zone Trilogy Enhanced Edition. If you're wondering what the fuss about the Stalker franchise is all about, this one is a great way to experience the original games in all of their glory and then some. With improvements to both visuals and performance on each of the 3 titles packed in, there is a lot to like in this bundle thanks to how the Stalker games are engaging enough to gain a following over the years. These are worlds that you just cannot miss thanks to how memorable they have managed to be despite the years that followed their release. While each of these games brought a lot of fun and innovation to the table, we must pick a winner. The winner of the best open world game of 2025 is Ghost of Yotei. Atsu's story and her trip across Etso is simply too well crafted to be ignored in favor of other games. This is an open world that engages you with just as much as you interact with. It's alive and humming, willing you to listen and follow its paths to your next hours of adventure. Mount Yotei and its surroundings have been a pleasure to explore, and Sucker Punch has nailed its take on a turbulent land.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at Gaming Vault, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Oh!
Something popped my tire.
Get ready to eat gunpowder!
What's up, survivors, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the massive new 7 Days to Die version 2.5 survival revival update, as the fun pimps have called it. And this one's loaded with some long awaited and long requested community features. Also some big gameplay changes, new zombies, new systems, and even a flatulence based stealth penalties. Yeah, we'll get there. And just a quick note for this particular video, the gameplay footage you're seeing is from my Asylum mod series. Since we don't have access to version 2.5 quite yet, I figured I'd show off the Asylum mod, which is a blast if you haven't tried it yet. But all the info is pulled straight from the official preview notes, which I will also link that in the video description down below if you want to read it for yourself. So just for timeline, the experimental release will drop very soon according to the devs, and then the stable update, which is also the console version, will hit before the holidays. So let's jump in and check this out. Now, there are just a couple warnings issued by the devs about updating to 2.5. They're basically saying if you're in the middle of crafting a workbench from 2.4 or any previous version, basically, 2.5 may delete the queue and remove the recipe unlock for the workbench. So if you're upgrading from 2.4 to 2.5, it looks like the saves will carry over, but if you are crafting a workbench, make sure you get rid of that before you update. You will not get your materials back. Clear the queues before you update. Controller layouts will also reset when you launch the game after updating, so if you're on console or play controller on PC, expect to rebind everything. Alright guys, we have a return of water survival. Basically, empty jars are coming back. This is huge. After reading hundreds of community posts, the devs finally struck a balance between the old and the new systems. Here's how it's going to work. Early game, you're going to be looting jars, you're going to go to the lakes and ditches and rivers, you're going to fill them up with murky water. We will not use sinks or toilets. I know some people kind of hinted at maybe using sinks and toilets, and some mods do that, but we will not be doing that in 2.5. Murky water still has to be boiled. Jars are a one-time use and cannot be crafted. Dew collectors will unlock later with workstation crafting level 16 and have to be crafted in the workbench. They will also take more materials to craft. So instead of basically crafting a dew collector early game, we're going to be using glass jars. We're going to be filling up, and they're one-time use until later on we can get a dew collector, or you can just keep using jars. All right, loot goblins, our vehicle storage got buffed and it got a little more modded. So every vehicle now has extra built-in storage. The bicycle has +1 slot, the mini bike has +3 slots, the motorcycle has +4, the gyro has +5, and the 4x4 now has +9. But here's the real kicker. You can now install vehicle storage mods, each one adding an entire extra storage row, which is 10 slots.
Your storage mechanics, I don't care about them anymore.
And each vehicle can use 2 mods. Oh, and vehicles actually change visually when modded. Saddlebags on the bike, stuff like that. I love the touch. This is something I have asked for a long time. Just vehicle storage mods for, I mean, just even the bicycle, being able to use the bicycle.
My God, that combat sucks.
Welcome everyone to IIG, Interest in Gaming. My name is Inter. Since I've been sitting around this past week with my foot wedged well into my mouth, I think we are very much deserving of a satirical disclaimer this week. The IIG podcast is where I get to share my often not very well thought out and circumstantially impulsive opinions about games. Everything I say was written by a staff of trained monkeys on typewriters, paid in factory seconds peanuts. The point of this entire podcast is to use industry-approved clickbait thumbnails that in absolutely no way whatsoever unwittingly include highly triggering political material. Because, of course, I would never make a mistake like that because I am, as you know, a flawless human being who employs a team of expert-reviewed circus fleas to vet everything I do on this channel before it goes out to the public. Thank you in advance for keeping in mind my consummate professionalism as you listen to today's episode. And let us never talk about it again. Today's episode of IIG is all about getting our feet wet. Rest assured, I will most definitely be talking a lot about The Wayward Realms today. That game is set in a place called the Archipelago, so how can we not talk about The Wayward Realms when discussing this topic? But I want to begin by speaking about aquatic gameplay in games in general. Truth be told, I'm not actually a fan of water in real life. I prefer not to get wet if I can help it. I am not an avid swimmer. I hate getting water in my nostrils or ears, and I can't open my eyes underwater without excruciating pain. I do enjoy the sensation of floating on water, but that's about as far as it goes for me. Also, like most people I think, I am not a fan of letting my feet dangle in a place where there are living things I can't see beneath me who might want to help me part with a toe or two. My mother loved the ocean. She loved visiting it, being near to it, etc. I held no
So which profession is the best for solo farming in Guild Wars 1? This is going to be a tier list video, and this is because they have plenty of time to do that. Well, in solo farms time is an important factor, and sometimes mesmers are beaten by other classes. To me, mesmers are in the B tier category.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Dark Age of Camelot. It's one of the oldest MMORPGs to date that is online and playable. Developed by the legendary studio Mythic Entertainment.
Yes. Just had to remind myself.
Okay, Arc Raiders community, this includes everyone. This includes sweats, streamers. I'm addressing everyone and everything right here in this little rant because I'm getting sick and tired of it. Firstly, holistically, as a community, everyone, calm down. I'm not calm, you be calm. This game has been out for just over a month. Calm down. If you've already hit level 75 and I have my expedition ready and there's nothing to do, shut up, streamers. Go stream another game.
Yeah, they like what? Like, yeah.
Go do something else. I have just over 60 hours, which I think is a lot.
60 hours?
I'm looking at my week. I'm like, oh man, I'm maybe playing.
I don't know. For me, I'm sure I'm at 60.
Played a lot. I got kids, I got a
lot,
family. I've got 60 hours and I'm level 40.
Here's the thing, there's already enough content in this game for a casual gamer. It would take them anywhere from, it would take them 3 months to complete like what someone like myself or Stroud would complete in like 3 weeks. I did see there was a take on somebody, like Stroud was like talking about how he's like, I don't know, there's kind of like nothing to do in this game anymore. It's kind of boring. And it's like, Stroud's playing like this game like 18 hours a day. Like, you got to be careful when you talk like that. Not talk like that, but you know what I mean? Like the average casual gamer is going to be able to play this game this like before even a major update and be like cooking with loot.
And I feel like that's how most people are coming to the game. They're not some sweat tryhards that have 110 plus hours. So if that's you, shut it. If you like playing the game because you like playing the game, you clearly like it because you're streamers, you're still playing it. Shut your mouth. Stop saying there's nothing to do. Shut it. My second thing is to all my fellow casuals out there. All my fellow casuals.
Aí! Oh, hot fix aí!
Alright, so in that clip you saw a streamer using a glitch in the game Arc Raiders, and some people feel streamers are abusing things like this, and for even worse reasons too, people feel that streamers may be ruining Arc Raiders, and that's according to the community, which I want to break that down. So let's do that in this video, starting with the first one. Are streamers ruining the fun in Arc Raiders by overly exposing the metas? Just letting everyone know what the best things are within the first couple weeks of the game coming out.
Yup. I don't know what it is because with every other game, I've always wanted to know secrets. I've always wanted to know min-maxing. Like, after like a week of playing this game, I started getting a bunch of stuff on my For You page where it's like, this is the best route for looting. I skip them. The second I hear a content creator voice in this game, I skip it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What's up, guys? Let me show you the greatest gun in this game. Skip. I'm like, dude, I want to just test everything out for myself. I don't care about any of that. So you're looting Buried City and you want to know where to find Blueprint. Skip.
In this video, I want to show you guys one of the most overpowered loot spots in Arc Raiders. This spot is on Buried City.
I'm like, dude, skip. Like, I'll sit here and chat with you guys about like what, you know what I mean? Like, we'll have a streaming conversation. Like, I could sit here, we can debate this stuff and like talk about these things, right? But like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what's the best. And I'm not making fun of people. By the way, I don't want to. It's the clip's already made, so that's unfortunate. But I'm not making fun of those people. They're trying to get viewers, and there's gonna be people that are gonna want to watch those things. But I'm not one of them. And I understand it's the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
So even Ninja being a streamer himself, it seems like he's kind of, you know, disliking the idea of streamers or content creators in general pushing out the best things within the game all over content. I think that steals the fun out of the game a lot of the time for people. It feels like you're not getting the, you know, natural experience you maybe should be in the game, where, you know, you literally shouldn't be finding the best stuff right away. It should actually take you time. Maybe you actually stumble across it yourself. No, I definitely think this is per person. It definitely depends on what type of person you are and what type of player you are on the game. I think it's cool to find glitches and find out what the best things are to use in the game and best spots to go to and things like that. But I can see how it rips the fun away for sure if you're not, you know, casually finding it yourself and actually getting that natural experience with the game. Now, I found some posts on Reddit talking about streamers ruining Arc Raiders and specifically XQC, so let's get into that. So they played about 20 to 30 solo games and only got killed twice by other raiders. Then they watched streamers, the ones who play trios. Okay, it's more PvP, I get it. But then I watched that Canadian with the blonde hair, XQC, or XCQ, and he plays more solos and shouts friendly to other raiders. Then he shoots them in the back. I lost all respect to that man. People like him will destroy the best community I ever saw in a multiplayer.
Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. I don't care. Friendly. Friendly, dude. Gun case is good. This is good. Crazy. That's insane. You believe me, man. Come on, bro.
Alright, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think anybody that plays Arc Raiders, if you have somebody that plays like that in the game, it's definitely pretty toxic. It's kind of ratty. It's definitely annoying for sure, right? I mean, you're literally, you know, acting like you're their friendly and then you just turn your back on them. The craziest part about this too is I'm just realizing the gameplay in the background of me and Abra playing Arc Raiders, we literally were, you know, finding some actual cool people, and then we got some people that turned their back on us completely. Now, I don't know for sure, I'm not XQC myself, but from what it looks like, it seems like maybe he's just not taking the game as serious and thought it was maybe kind of funny to think that people in the game would actually believe that he'd be on their team, and then he thought, I'm just gonna take advantage of this and kill them after, since they're really doing this. And maybe he just doesn't understand Arc Raiders, or isn't really into the game like that, or just doesn't really care. But either way, I can definitely see how people, you know, can get mad at streamers like this for stuff like this for sure, especially uploading content about it, and then maybe other people end up copying him and do stuff like that within the game as well. Streamers ruin most games. XQC is the tool. I don't understand how anyone enjoys watching him. XQC is a child that never became mature. Streamers are the worst thing to happen in gaming. I mean, these comments are crazy. Wow. Someone did say no one's ruined the game, just play it. Streamers rage baiting is not something new. More rage equals more money. It's pretty easy for them. Oh my god, someone is killing people in a PvP game and lying on the internet. Come on, dude, this is game functioning as intended. Lying and backstabbing, you must be a cool person. I mean, overall, I understand it. There's definitely going to be people who play like that in the game. You can't really get around that. But, I mean, you can't really expect, you know, I guess the best response from people when you're a streamer, literally streaming to thousands of people while you're doing that and playing like that, I guess, right? And now let's check out this clip about the streamer Myth in Arc Raiders.
This clip from Myth started going around, and it's an unpopular opinion.
I will reiterate that any problems that this game has, it's so like irrelevant compared to all the problems you have to deal with when it comes to games nowadays, bro. I'm with you all the way, brother. The fact that they left the glitch in after Stella says enough. Well, I don't know if that means much. I mean, if anything, I think they just had, it just says that they had Stella Montes ready to go. Also, I'm gonna be honest, I have a very, very unpopular take on this that I don't know if a lot of people will respect. I would rather receive new content over fixing non-game breaking bugs every day of the week. I don't care. If it doesn't break the game, like, I just give me new content. Like, I'll swallow the new content, and that will be the pill that I have to swallow. I'd much rather deal with that, like, if I gotta pick one. I like playing with shiny new toys. I'm sick of keys having no use at all since launch. Yeah, I feel that.
To be clear, he acknowledges it's an unpopular opinion, so I'll give him credit for that. But the reason that he feels that way, I'm sure, is because he's a streamer playing this game for like 12 hours a day. And so that super chat coming from Luke Warfield, I feel many games are designed in a way where it's best for people with no job, no kids. I get tired of games that need hours of grinding for one good item. Once you're an adult and have a family, no time. And I think that there's a lot of games that start to fall into that trap where they're popular, they're popular live service games and they get a lot of streamers playing them, and those streamers start to really eat it up. But these streamers who are playing these games day in, day out, they can often kind of lose sight of how normal people play games. Like, normal people tend to work their 9 to 5, they get home, they have dinner, maybe they do something with the kids or the wife or whatever, and then they go after the kids go down and they sit down and they play for an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe with their friends, maybe not, and then they go to bed and the whole thing goes over again, you know? And that's how most of them do it. And maybe when they're playing for those 2 hours, they have their favorite streamer pulled up in a second monitor or something playing the same game, but they're only putting, an hour, 2 hours in a night. Some days they're skipping it because something else came up. That's how normal human beings exist. These streamers, though, they are playing 12 hours a day, maybe more, 7 days a week, especially around launch time. And they are no-lifing it, and they are grinding with other high-level players who are also no-lifing it. And so they learn every exploit, they learn every detail, they look up every hidden trick and every bug and everything. And it allows them to progress very, very quickly and to have cool gadgets for people watching their stream to see and be like, ooh, I want to get that eventually. But it gives them a very unrealistic, I feel, outlook on how the game works and the progression and how that feels.
So yeah, essentially a lot of people feel like almost as if these streamers
Okay, I'm going into a Arc Raiders team match.
I was on mute. I have that security breach. That's why I'm going there. I'm gonna see if there's anything in there. I don't know why I smell grilled cheese.
I cannot move, Kitty. You're sitting on my keyboard. Ah.
There's nothing here. I've never been up this way. Huh. Didn't even know that was there. What the hell? It's not over there. I hate when I get lost. Oh, what the hell? I'm in the wrong area. Fuck. This isn't the big building. How in the hell? Something's not right here. It should be right here. Yeah, it's the building over there. God damn it. But there's stuff we can reach here. Oh, somebody's around us. I guess that guy wants to leave. I'm gonna go check out this area. I wouldn't go over here. People are camping it.
Hello, friend. Are we chill?
Oh, yeah, I will not open if you don't.
Are we chill?
Yes.
Y'all can leave if you want.
Encore bien chill, girl. Encore bien chill. Alright.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. I am still lost right now. Where is that? Uh-oh. Wrong area. Research and administration is where I need to do. Wait, that's where I just was. It's downstairs. Or am I thinking of a different map? I think I might be thinking of a different map. No, it's on this map. I'll figure it out later.
Nice, not a bad run. Be able to go in again tomorrow. Yeah, it was good. City. One more before I go to bed. One more. One last one. Before I go, I'm gonna pee. I'll be right back. Staying up late tonight. Okay, last one. It's a good successful run. I didn't expect to make it, so we'll go one more time. Repair. Here we go. Wish me luck. Why are they always in before me? It's weird. 2 good runs. That was kind of a crazy zigzag there, but we were pretty straightforward about it. Yeah, they carved a pretty good route there. And I got a full loot. Yep, nice unload. I got a gun. I got a blue gun, spray 3, and not bad. Okay, I'm going to bed, guys. It's 4:04 in the morning. I'm gonna stop. You've been watching Skycat Live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. I'm gonna stop the stream here. It'll wind down with the stream delay. And I'll remind you that you've been watching Skycat Live. Thank you for tuning in, seeing some Arc Raiders wins and some, you know, some Fallout 76 and some Once Human and some, you know, all that stuff. And love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's fun to, you know, play this game. I'm sorry, I got a bomb out, but you know, good run. Sorry about that. Got to leave. They were good people though. And so I'm going to leave. Love you guys. Thank you so much. You've been watching Skycat Live. This recording is going to end with a reminder that I have thousands of videos on my YouTube channel. I'm about to upload what you just watched to my YouTube channel, and I upload every single day. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I'll be back tomorrow after I walk 5 miles, and I'll see you guys, well, depending on the weather. I don't know what the weather's like today, but we'll see. I love you guys. Bye. See ya.